Okay, we are now live. So we should start seeing people filter in here soon. I think we had, oh, yep, there we go. All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's call. We're going to talk about AI in Acumatica. This has been a much requested topic, so we're very excited to cover it for you today. It's still a minute before 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, so we're just going to give it a few more moments before we actually kick everything off. But we appreciate those of you who are here right on time for being right on time. That makes everyone's lives a bit easier, so thank you so much. And then I guess one random thing to mention while folks are trickling in is that if you do find any of this topic interesting and should be shared with other people throughout your team, we typically load all of our webinars onto our YouTube page within 24 to 48 hours of doing the webinar itself. So just refer certain team members to just search PC Bennett on YouTube. You'll be able to find it. It will be the most recent video uploaded as late as Friday, but we'll definitely try and get it up earlier for you folks because we know this is like I said, a much requested topic. I also know Nathan's very excited. He's become kind of like our internal AI savant, the way that he's been doing this. So it should be cool to see how he wants to demo some of this stuff for you folks. But yeah, we'll call it another 2 minutes, and then or maybe even just a minute, and then we'll kick everything off. How does that sound, Nathan?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. All right, you want to kick this off, Nathan?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Cool. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar on AI in Acumatica. We are really thrilled to have all of you in attendance to learn about how Acumatica is intertwining this emerging technology with your ERP system. Before we jump into the content of today's call, we're going to do the obligatory introductions that we typically do. So I'm Strati Moustakis. I'm the marketing manager here at PC Bennett. And really what my role on today's call is going to be introing each topic for Nathan to dive a bit deeper into in all of his demos. I'm also going to talk a little bit about AI strategy. Acumatica's AI strategy and philosophy. So you'll hear a little bit about that from me before Nathan does the actual demonstration part of today's call. And what Nathan's really going to focus on is kind of each of these 3 core processes that are AI and automation within Acumatica, but we'll get into those more specifically later. 2 quick points, again, before we jump into the content. One is that just if you haven't attended a PC Bennett webinar before, recently we have switched to a platform called StreamYard, where it is best for you folks to probably full screen this during the call, just to make sure that you're able to see the full breadth of Acumatica. Sometimes if you keep it in a smaller window, it might look a little pixelated. It's not pixelated, I can promise you. It's simply just the platform. So just go full screen. And then when we have our recording up on YouTube, that will be very easy to see as well. It records in 1080p resolution. Like I said, if you have team members that are interested in this topic, definitely share them, tell them to search PC Bennett on YouTube to be able to find the recording of this call that we'll try to upload later today or tomorrow. And then lastly, we have the chat feature enabled. I think it's called the comment section. So please, if you have any questions or comments during the call, feel free to just post that. and you will be able to, we'll try to answer any questions that you have on the call today if they are something that we are able to answer. If not, we will make sure to get you in contact with our support team, whether it be Will, Patty, or Shannon, to make sure that you have all of your questions answered. So with that brief intro, we're going to take a quick look at today's agenda. So we are going to start, like I said, by talking about the broader strategy Acumatica has when integrating AI into its platform. We will then talk about the potential of Acumatica's AI Studio, followed up by anomaly detection, which has been available for roughly about a calendar year, but is a really great tool to showcase some of the quote unquote like smaller ways AI is being included into Acumatica. I don't think there's really any small ways, but I just think that's the easiest way to communicate it. And then we're going to close out by talking about business events and triggers. So if we can go to the next slide, Nathan. When it comes to Acumatica's AI strategy, the most important thing I think for us to talk about is their broader philosophy. And if you were able to either attend virtually or in person Acumatica Summit earlier this year, their chief engineering officer laid out the why behind injecting AI into Acumatica's platform. He started off explaining how, and this is a direct quote from him, AI in Acumatica is not just for the sake of AI. If you think about it, AI and ERP are just a means to an end to making your business faster, smarter, and more cost efficient. That's the end of the quote. And that's exactly why we're here to talk to you today. We're going to become faster, smarter, and more cost efficient through the effective use of your technology. And that means using the full breadth of AI capabilities within Acumatica. And so the company really understands that AI cannot just be thrown at users, right? It can't be brought in at breakneck speed because that can be really disruptive to workflows, dangerous to security, and even freak out existing team members at companies that use Acumatica. And that's really the last thing that Acumatica wants you guys to feel is like that this is going to upend your operations or this is going to replace employees. Instead, they want to have a structured process in place for adopting AI that is clearly outlined and easy for everyone to understand so people know how they can integrate this technology into their business while also making sure that there are these incredibly strong features that allow you to be better than your competition at every phase of Acumatica's process. So what does this process look like? Nathan, if you can go to the next slide for me. There's really 3 phases to it. The first phase really focuses on assisting team members. During this phase, team members are going to be gleaning insights and guidance from things like the virtual assistant and performing work based on insights that AI provides. This means you can make more timely decisions and fewer errors. As we move into the second phase, which is going to be in like a short-term time frame, it's more about collaborating with AI rather than simply just getting assistance from it. So the AI is going to be able to draft workflows and copy, give recommendations to like fine tune or tweak processes. And then it's also going to be able to orchestrate said processes that it recommends. Here, humans are really approving decisions and accepting AI suggestions to ensure that the computer's decision-making is aligned with your organization's goals and targets. And then lastly, in phase 3, which is kind of a longer term process to get to that point, we're looking at much more robust autonomy of AI. Here, the AI is operating on its own while someone is overseeing it. Like a human is sitting there making sure that the right decisions are being made, that the right processes are being performed. And those humans can also intervene to ensure that the system is performing its duties to the best of its abilities and also garnering specific insights and information that are going to be important to report on to leadership. So this kind of like fully fledged autonomous system, I don't think is really ever going to be within Acumatica's plan. I think it's all about a collaboration between existing team members at a company and AI. And that partnership together will ensure, to the point of their chief engineering officer that I brought up earlier, we are looking to make your business faster, smarter, I'm raising fingers, and more cost efficient. Those 3 things. And so Nathan, if you can go back to the previous slide, security is also very important to Acumatica when it comes to AI. As everyone should know from your sales process with PC Bennett, Acumatica has a robust customer bill of rights. And one of those rights includes users being entitled to complete security model that covers your application access, data, reports, and devices. Another part of the Bill of Rights is having the right to own and access your data now and always in full usable data formats. These two rights have and always will be at the core of how Acumatica conducts business and develops this product, and that especially applies to AI development. One great example of this is that the AI virtual assistant that will be unveiled to the general public soon is a large language model, similar to like a ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. But Acumatica developed that in-house, and it is completely isolated from public large language model training. And when you use your AI virtual assistant, once it becomes generally available, your private business data is completely isolated to your specific version. Additionally, in AI Studio, which we'll talk about in a few moments, you're going to be able to mask your data from a quote unquote like name brand large language model that you can connect to your ERP to have it perform tasks for you. So without talking too much about AI Studio, let's talk about like how the security works behind it, including like masking information. So your Acumatica instance, as you all know, has sensitive data in it, stuff like account numbers and prices. You don't want that information to be shared into a larger ecosystem that your competitors or members of the public could then tap into. So when it comes to AI Studio, you're going to be able to like mask that information when building a prompt within Acumatica. You then send that prompt with the masked data to something like a ChatGPT, like a Claude, or any other LLM that you're able to integrate with. With the data masked, that LLM doesn't see what the masked data is. It only sees that it is masked content, frankly. And then from there, it performs the prompt that you have requested, and the result is sent back to Acumatica for you to glean your insights and information from. When that happens, your system is then replacing the masked content with the actual sensitive data and information that you want to hide from the name brand, or quote unquote, like name brand large language model, right? And so like the way that I kind of think about it, and this isn't like truly how it is behind the scenes, but an easy way to conceptualize it is like if you're doing a generic inquiry on certain account balances, it would just send your accounts as like 00000 to the large language model. Then it would, even though like your internal system knows that you have appropriate account numbers, the large language model just sees account 0000 has a balance of like $27,000. And then once it sends it back to your system like demasks that content once it's back into your Acumatica. So then it says that X account number balance is 27,000. That's like a super simplistic way of saying it, but I hope you understand like the importance of masking data and how we don't want, and Acumatica doesn't want your sensitive information to be shared to those, to that larger ecosystem. And so then the last thing in terms of Acumatica's, well, and this is more so PC Bennett's AI strategy, I will say, but I think is also included in Acumatica's broader AI strategy, is like, what are you as our customers talking to us about that you want AI to perform, and what's already in the platform already? So while AI is the current like big name in the tech industry, we hear it constantly, and there are incredibly fun things and really intense processes that you can perform with AI to supercharge your business. There are already features within your ERP that aren't the large language model type of AI that's making waves in the media. It's more like, for lack of a better term, like intro level AI that allows you to perform tasks autonomously and analyze vast swaths of data in mere moments. The reason I bring this up is because as our customers get more and more familiar with the power of AI, sometimes questions can be asked of us as your technology partner of how you can leverage AI. And what's really cool about this opportunity for us is that we get the chance to educate you on the full potential of what already exists in your system. Because as many of you want ChatGPT to be able to analyze like huge swaths of data to be able to detect anomalies, there's already a feature in Acumatica called anomaly detection. That means that you don't need to integrate with another platform to accomplish this task. And anomaly detection is something we're going to talk about in just a few moments after we cover AI Studio. This is really just like a simple reminder that your system is incredibly vast and super powerful. And while you may want to lean on certain large language models like ChatGPT to make you as efficient as possible, you don't always need to go to that third-party site, because Acumatica is always looking to create native features in the platform itself to ensure you can be as efficient as possible without always needing to leave Acumatica to perform certain tasks. So now we're really going to dive into the actual demonstration of content today, and we're going to start by talking about AI Studio. Nathan, if you can head to that slide for me. Thank you very much. With something as powerful as AI Studio, there's really going to be a myriad of use cases that is going to end up helping your business. Nathan's going to cover a few of them today. It can help drive deep AI automation. It can give you the insights you crave on any particular screen. And it can even change the fields on a screen based on the values of any prompt you've given it. During Acumatica Summit this year, they even one of the examples that they demonstrated was how a salesperson could use AI Studio. So imagine a salesperson has dozens of opportunities or even hundreds of opportunities. They previously would have needed to open each opportunity in Acumatica and analyze every single activity they have logged to get a sense of where they are at in a specific prospect sales process. This is a really time-consuming process and means they can't be honed in simply on closing a deal. They also need to do their own data analysis. The team at Summit showed us that by using a single prompt in AI Studio, these salespeople can easily generate summaries of the activity log. And that summary will also understand buyer sentiment and even what next steps are needed to ensure having a faster time to close. And this quick summary and understanding of sentiment happen within just simply seconds, or sometimes it can take minutes, depending on how many activities are logged. But that's just a simple reminder that sometimes AI can take a bit longer in with certain prompts as it processes more and more data. I'm really talking about this at the highest possible level. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Nathan, who's going to show you actual examples and use cases of what AI Studio is and how your company can leverage it.
Awesome. Thank you, Strati. Yeah, let's get right into it. So a couple of prerequisites. We're going to be jumping into the Acumatica application here. We landed on the enable disable features screen because, of course, this is new stuff. We got to turn it on. But you'll notice that under the platform header now, we do have AI Studio. AI anomaly detection also resides here. You can get a little more information about that. And AI automation is coming up. That's going to be essential for running some of the behind the scenes operations that we've got going on here. So again, after we've got the features turned on, a couple of things that we've got in our system now, starting with our LLM connections. We're going to build that connection to our AI large language model helper. In this scenario, I've connected to Anthropic's Claude. You can see here we give it a connection ID and a name. We can choose our provider here in Acumatica. That's something that's unique to Acumatica, right? You can use Anthropic, but you don't have to. You can choose to use Amazon's proxy, even Microsoft's Azure proxy, and of course the ever popular OpenAI. A couple of parameters here. We're going to give it some values that we need to connect and how we want it to return data, which model we're going to be using, etc. So a little bit of control here over how this system is acting. These settings you see on my screen seem to work well in our demos. Now, the next thing we can do with that, now that we have a connection, and we're talking about AI Studio first, we're going to see most of what is in AI Studio, at least the examples that Acumatica has provided for us, and a couple of others that we've added, as what we can do here, right? So if I pull up the stock item description as an example, we can automatically generate beautiful descriptions from your existing data. We're going to give the system a prompt and name. And of course, we have to make it active. The prompt name and its button name. So the button is something that makes this work. We can do these on our document screens now, record screens, and that basically is going to generate a button for us to press. So easy to do. In the instructions section here, we're going to give the system some context instructions, some instructions with input data. You can see that this is really human readable formatting. The little hashtags here are helpful for the AI to understand what is a header and a section. That's just basic markdown or markup language. And again, you can see some details here, like the inventory code, the item class ID. Where do these come from? We have a place to draw them. You don't need to know the field names, although it's really easy to find them. If you're looking to send some data to the system, that's going to bring up our new selector here. If the cost is something that you're searching for, we can find all of the fields here on the input selector. A little pro tip, if you're on a document screen and you don't know what is your field name, we do have an inspect element tool in Acumatica that you can use on just about any screen. That's going to give you some insights into what field you're looking at. So the data class and the field name, this is what you're going to search for in that little dialog we just saw. Okay, so again, inventory details and some requirements, right? What are we doing? We're going to send a short description, or we're going to ask for a short description to be generated. We're also going to ask for a beautifully formatted HTML description to be generated by the system and return that right into our stock item record. Pick an example here, maybe the Powerade off the list. So you can, I'm not going to read all the instructions to you, but again, it's very basic data, basic formatting rather. You don't need to be a coder to do this anymore. Now that we can see what we're doing, we can even test that prompt right here on the screen without affecting other data. We're not updating or modifying records. We're just building the system here for demonstration and, again, testing. We're going to build this out and make sure that it works the way we want it to before we deploy it. The preview is going to return all of the description data that we have, including headers and beautiful formatting with bullet lists and things like that. We can see the exact prompt that was sent to the system, including all the data fields that it drew, and the response from the system. And again, this is a little bit JSON formatting, a little bit computer coding, but if you're into that and you know what you're looking for, this is helpful for spotting some things that might not be working exactly the way you want them to. Okay, so that's really cool, right? We can do that right here on this test screen, but now we want to deploy it. How does it look in a real world scenario? I'm going to pull up one of our inventory items here and we can see how that works. So if I pull up our computer off the top of the list, we've got an Acer computer in our system here, some data from this screen, including an HTML description, which exists, right? We did this once already. And we can do that at any time. Let's see if we've got another item here that doesn't yet have a description. So here we've got a Lego set, and I hit the generate description button, just like we did on the prompt screen when testing it. This is going to send the data out to our large language model, Claude in this case. It's going to pull out all of the fields that we indicated and return that beautiful description. That didn't take me any time. I click a button, I can go get a drink of water, come back, and it's done. This is a huge time saver. But, you know, oftentimes we're doing multiple things when we're going through these processes, and we have to change multiple fields, and maybe that takes a few steps. Another one of the examples I have here is I took that item description example and added some interesting information to people who might be working in our industries, manufacturing or distribution. Often we have, and in particular with automotive, we have competition. We need to make sure that we're being competitive in the market and that everything is still sellable. Also in our industry, sometimes we have a minimum advertised price. A manufacturer doesn't want to sell a product below a specific price, doesn't want to hurt the value perception of that product. So again, we have to honor those agreements, and that's some information that we're going to need to have on a regular basis. So if we head back to that stock item screen and looking at this Lego piece or this Lego set, I'll go ahead and save that now and see how this changes if I make a couple of modifications. So including included in the HTML description, and I just put this here for demonstration purpose, but I want to also understand how we are positioned in the market. Is our price competitive? We're going to have a scannable layout. We're also going to include a section down at the bottom with AI generated pricing information. Again, I can tell it to put in a header so I know exactly where to find that. I want a summary, whether we're high or low, and I want it to check across major retailers and cite those sources. I'm going to have it look at places like Amazon, Target, anywhere those major retailers that might find this product, and let me know how it's priced there. It's also going to compare our price and tell us if that price is an average or above or below. That minimum advertised price might be important to us too. And then the status, right? Like a general overview. Are we doing well? Are we not? Is our product competitively priced? So again, back on that stock item screen, you can see the product details is the last thing we've got here. If I hit the compare price button, it's going to do all that work for me, including all those extra steps of searching the internet, right? Now, this is something where AI is incredibly useful and powerful and already very good at this kind of thing. So finding data across multiple systems that were not originally connected, right? So we're looking at many places. The current market research is looking at Amazon, it's looking at Target and Walmart and even the Lego stores. I didn't tell it to do that, it just knew. So the average market price is about 60 bucks. And the minimum advertised price from Lego is in that range. We're in the range. So our prices of $100 is premium, right? We're 67% above the market price. We need to bring this down if we want to sell them. So again, we can quickly and easily glean this important and valuable information to make those important business decisions right here within Acumatica. I don't need external tools to do this anymore. AI is building the tools into the system to utilize these large language models and all of the power of AI with usable tools within our ERP system. So that's pretty cool stuff. Another thing that was added recently for this system to work, and we may have some instructions that we're using more than once. Acumatica has included a entity called system instructions. I've actually set up a quick one, right? Maybe these are context grounding or something where we want to make sure that nothing is going out that we don't want to go out, some security type settings at the system level. Or maybe it's just as simple as identifying ourselves or strengthening our brand image, right? So at PC Bennett, we love motorsport. I asked the system to talk like a motorsport professional or a fan, right? So whenever possible, use that motorsport voice. We work in the automotive industry. We love anything related to fast cars, and we want to make sure it doesn't sound too kitschy or stereotypically sales-like. And then we're going to reference our own website to do those things. It's very cool stuff here. So how this works, right? Again, in our LLM prompts, we can set up some system instructions and reuse them. So if we're looking at another prompt here that we have in the system called refine reply, what this is going to do is, like your Copilot in Outlook or your Gemini in Gmail, we've got Acumatica's AI here ready to help us and assist us in writing emails. These are things that often take time. You've got to spend a lot of time reading through data and understanding that data and then converting that into a response that makes sense not only to you, but to your customer. And then, of course, represents the business well and sounds like your business, right? So again, here in the context instructions, we're giving it some basic information, telling it to write an email, make it professional, concise, and attentive to the context. We're going to give it some instructions. It's going to read the email that we've drafted. Then it's going to use the following fields, et cetera, and then it's going to output a response. We also want it not to include the signature because maybe that's something we want to be personalized to the user. We can use other features in the system to even automatically include the signature of the user who's generating this email. Now, we mentioned those system instructions, and you can see here down at the bottom after the output data field, this system instruction setting. So it copied those instructions from my system instruction entity, and inputting those is super easy. Maybe I want this to appear above or below any AI prompt. I can set these up once and reuse them. Maybe I want it above or again below the prompt. When I click that checkbox and mark it off, I had it do it twice. But again, you can see quickly and easily I can reuse multiple sets of instructions here as well. All right, so let's not save that. What we're going to do is demonstrate how this actually works. And in conjunction with the refine reply and those cool system instructions, giving it the motorsport voice, right? One of the things that we're going to be doing here is looking at an opportunity. Also included in these examples is an opportunity summary. This is one of the things that Acumatica unveiled at the summit recently, and super powerful, very cool feature. It's going to get us a lot of information very quickly. And it even appears now as a side panel on those opportunity screens. It's right where we need it when we need it. Also, Strati had mentioned masked data fields, right? So before we move on and outside of the AI Studio prompt system, if you wanted to include a field but not show that field, oops, you just choose masked data field from the list here. Any opportunity field, if I selected the branch, for example, anytime it inputs that data now, it's going to input it with masked as the preview. And again, that won't be sent out to your large language model. All of this, again, staying within Acumatica's fence, so to speak, is not exposing your sensitive data to the larger internet. Your business data is very important to you, and it's important to Acumatica that we keep it protected at all times. So again, let's take a look at, we've seen a couple of sets of instructions and prompts. I actually have an opportunity that is gone a little stale. We want to follow up on this. I've got a lot of work to do today, and I can't spend too much time reviewing. I can see here that there's been a lot of activities, more than 10 or so. Maybe I want to view those activities quickly without having to tab through each one or flip through each one. You can see as I flip through them, I can see the details of these activities down here. But the activity summary or activity stream side panel now makes this so much easier to see. I don't have to flip through each one. I can see the entire string of data here. I can show more for those longer ones, and then any emails that have been sent, including attachments. All of this stuff is, again, it's really much more approachable and usable with useful things like color coding. But that AI summary, that's really the crux of what we're here for, right? We want to know what happened with this opportunity, where it was left off. We haven't touched it in a while. We want to follow up. It's not a small deal. We want to make sure that Amelia, who's looking for this, is getting exactly what she needs from us. And again, I've got so much to do. I'm trying to catch up, maybe hundreds of these opportunities. That AI sentiment or AI summary is giving me a brief overview, a sentiment, a summary of how things are with the opportunity, the things that happened last, and it's been a while. It's in the development stage. We need to re-engage, and it's not a small one. So the next steps we need to do are, again, contact Amelia, schedule a follow-up, provide updated pricing. I want to do all these things. So let's do it. I'm going to highlight all of that and hit Control-C on my keyboard. I copy that information and I click the new email button. I'm going to just paste it, right? And then I'm going to click the refine reply button. I'm going to let the system do all of this for me. Again, I got a lot to do, got to get back to it. Let's see how it works. Give it another second here. Maybe we'll make that a little bigger so everybody at home can read it. And here you go. A very nicely worded, personalized email, including things like getting back on the fast track, right? That motorsport language, that voice that we set up. And we don't have to do anything to do that. Just like a race car needs regular maintenance to stay competitive, we want to stay in connection with you and make sure that your opportunities are flowing through. I want to schedule a pit stop meeting with you, right? So again, those requirements, things that we need to get done, the system is speaking my language. Let's put the pedal to the metal and make this deal happen, right? Okay, so again, I didn't have to do much of anything or even think about how this wants to be done, or I want this to be done. Pretty cool stuff. I've got another one, right? I've got an opportunity here with some more activities. Let's see how quickly we can do that and just summarize and reply to this opportunity. So we're looking for we have to set up a prospect meeting. Let's get a quick summary on this opportunity. We can see a warning here. Primary quote is out. It hasn't been, it's not a draft anymore. It's actually sent. Let's take that description. We're going to create an email and follow up with Don Thornton. So I think I clicked maybe 3 or 4 times, including highlighting the information. Didn't touch my keyboard. And there we go. Dear Don, let's get back on track. Put it in high gear. So if you'd like to take a minute to read that, I won't leave it up on the screen too long, but you can pause the video and the recording and see how all of this works well for us. Okay, so some pretty cool stuff there. Again, those governance notes, right? Implementation. At this stage in Acumatica's AI implementation, we're keeping the human in the loop. And that's pretty much the philosophy. We want to have a human-controlled AI system, right? This is a system that's here to serve us as an assistant, and any updates made through AI Studio are reviewable and reversible. We can actually see the history of those things happening. In terms of security, all your specific data transmitted to the LLM is going via encrypted API calls. Acumatica doesn't use this data to train its own public models, and ensuring your proprietary technical specs remain private. So as of 25 R2, AI Studio is still experimental. This is going to be released to general release in 26 R1. We've actually got the beta software running here for our demo. Okay, so I think we've given a pretty good idea of the things that AI Studio is capable of. This is the point where we really need the genuine intelligence, the actual humans in the room, to let us know how these things are going to be useful for you. What kinds of examples or use cases might you have where you could see repetitive tasks being automated or somehow streamlined or efficient, made more efficient with these kinds of tools. And again, having this right within your ERP, able to change data within your ERP. You don't need to do all that copy pasting anymore. It's a huge advantage. Okay, so again, that's AI Studio. I'm going to hand it back to Strati now, and we can start talking about some of the other things, unless there are some questions that came up along the way.
No questions, but I will say thank you for submitting the one question not pertaining to the actual content of the call, but just a reminder that we will have a recording for this. I'll send a link to every PC Bennett customer in our universe with a link to the YouTube recording once we have it up on our page. So just expect that if you are looking to review some of the content, or if you missed part of the webinar, or share with other members on your team who may not have attended. And then secondly, that is just a general reminder that the comment section is open if you do have questions. So just feel free to submit anything if you do have it in regards to the content that we're covering today. So Nathan, if you can go to our slideshow.
Absolutely.
Cool. So we are going to be talking about anomaly detection, which is something I briefly mentioned earlier. Anomaly detection was first introduced to Acumatica in 2024 R2 as an experimental feature, but this is going to be mass released to the general public in the latest version of Acumatica 26 R1, which should come out in just a few months. This feature helps users identify unusual patterns in generic inquiries. And that means essentially that users don't have to manually spot data errors or process exceptions or find outliers that may indicate certain business issues that could arise in your general processes. Instead, we can let the computer handle that for you and your team. So essentially, to bring it to brass tacks, anomaly detection essentially analyzes numeric fields in selected GIs, compares values across defined groups, and then assigns a severity level to each detected anomaly in a color-coded fashion that makes it super easy to see and comprehend how quickly action needs to be taken care of. how quickly action needs to be taken. Sorry. There's going to be a ton of use cases for anomaly detection. Some common examples are checking things like sales margins or orders totals. You're able to identify production or labor variances, and then also reviewing things like financial balances or transaction volumes. So while those are at a very high level, just like named examples of anomaly detection use cases, I'm going to pass it over to Nathan, who's going to show you what this actually looks like in your platform.
Awesome. Thank you, Strati. Okay, so like you mentioned, we're going to be setting this up on a generic inquiry screen. So again, anomaly detection's been out for a minute, but people are still wondering about the most effective ways to use it. And then, of course, what do we do afterward? And that's what the next section is going to be about. But again, on the inquiry screen, you can see standard generic inquiry. We now have some pretty cool advanced features on this screen if you're a coder and you want to check that out. On the interface options screen, it's a tab of the generic inquiry screen. This is where we're going to enable this, and a little preview to what's coming. AI Assistant is also going to be available on generic inquiry screens, although that's not ready even for us to demo yet. Sorry to tease you with that. But again, we've got the detect anomalies function available. It's turned on this generic inquiry. And if I head over to the anomaly detection tab, we can understand a little bit about how it works. It's asking for a field for analysis. We're looking at a generic inquiry, but what is it about this generic inquiry that's important? It's a margin analysis inquiry. We're going to be looking at the margin percentage field, looking at other transactions in the system and for those that might stand out. Things that happen during the holiday times, that's not a surprise, right? But if we've got a big discrepancy outside of those typical timelines or typical trends, right? The timeline feature is where the anomaly detection is really empowered, right? We can see things that don't fit according to the calendar. And then if we had a summary level inquiry, or we wanted to look at a detail level inquiry, but then get some statistics based on the group. Maybe we're looking at the sales order line items, but we want to understand how the entire sales order is performing. We can group some records on these generic inquiry screens to get the summary. And then how often we're updating this. We've got it turned on demand. These are things that we're doing, regularly. It's sort of in the forefront of our mind. At the moment, we're using AI as our assistant, not completely automating yet. But again, these are things that when we're ready, we turn them on, and this will work for us in the background. It's going to analyze all of these margin analysis records. And if we view the inquiry, you can see on this screen some of the results of that inquiry. So I have actually a couple of filters, or one filter. If I show all records, that's going to show me everything that was sold between these dates. Looks like we're looking at the last year, and we've got quite a few sales orders, 723 line items here that we're looking across, and we're looking for those anomalies. Did anything actually stand out? Well, you'll notice we have a button here at the top of the screen that says Detect Anomalies, which takes us to a screen where we can actually do these things in mass, right? We can do more than one at a time. You can see our sales order margin analysis down here at the bottom has been completed. We have some records, nothing was skipped. Again, if you've got a sales order with only one line item on it, it might not be able to analyze that as an anomaly. Maybe some of the other line items don't give it enough information. So there may be some rows that get skipped. But again, now that we have that data, the system has analyzed for us that data. I can actually click the process button and ask it to resend that information. Again, we have this one set up to run on demand, but we can even schedule the automation of this detection process to run regularly as well. Okay, so again, looking at that sales order margin analysis inquiry, we did find some results that were not normal. You can see over here on the far right, we have an anomaly severity column, and if I make everything fit, we'll be able to see everything. The anomaly severity column is actually showing us some things that are not normal or empty. significant or medium anomalies were returned. So a couple of these, it's telling us the expected margin value and the actual margin percentage. Right, can I see that? The margin percentage here. You can see very, very far off, right? Obvious anomalies. So that's something that we're going to want to have someone take a look at. Take another look at, check these things, make sure that, again, they're proper, right? You can see we've even got some comments here that someone has started reviewing these. This one was a sample, so okay, we've got a huge margin. We gave it away for basically free. That one's okay, I reviewed it. This one's okay too. I didn't actually mark it off, but let's go ahead and do that. So now that it's checked, it shouldn't bug us next time. And again, maybe we want to have a filter set up for everything that's been flagged and not reviewed. Very simple to do with Acumatica's advanced filters. So some other examples of how detecting anomalies might be effective, right? Efficiency, and if we're doing manufacturing, these are the things that might be costing us a ton, right? Like our labor cost variance. And we may not see these things until too late, right? If we have a huge cost variance in labor, it could mean that there's a machine down, or that there's something that needs maintenance, or that some process is falling down somewhere that needs attention. And if we don't get attention on that quickly, again, it's going to be very costly. Finding those things quickly and acting on them quickly is where our business can gain an advantage over others. Again, so materials cost and operation, any variance percentages is a great place to use these anomaly detection features. Okay, so that's a little bit about anomaly detection. Did we have any questions come in, Strati? Are we ready to talk about what happens after we detect the anomalies?
So yeah, we did get a question. Someone said, I would love to see if system admin steps could be done. Like if you add a user and you also need to make an employee record also for said user, would you be able to do that type of activity?
I love that question, and it's a great use case, something I would really love to flesh out and test a little bit. So give us the opportunity to go through and try that out and see what can be done. From what I understand at the moment, there is a button on a record screen. We can use AI Studio on those record screens, not yet on generic inquiry list screens. But that said, your question may actually be a perfect segue into our next set of examples here, right? And again, what we can do with this data when we see something that should be or should not be, what actions can we take?
Yeah, and that is also just because that is a great suggestion, we appreciate you sending it. That is just a really good reminder that as you're having conversations with your customer success team, please let them know if there's specific AI functionality that you're interested in seeing, and whether it be Nathan or our development team or even support, like we will try to find ways to help you use and leverage the technology to the best of its abilities. So we're really happy to have a collaborative discussion with you folks about how to use AI, what the right way to use it looks like, and also because we just want you to be more efficient and more productive. And so anything that we can do to make your technology do that is definitely a great use of everyone's time, frankly. But to Nathan's point, we are going to move on and talk about business events and triggers. If you can go to the next slide for me. And these business events and triggers are a pretty nifty tool that allows you to automate specific processes within Acumatica. One example of a business event that I have thought of from a marketing side of life, just because I am the marketing manager here at PC Bennett, is setting up reminders for customers that purchase products that have short lifespans. That doesn't necessarily apply to us at PC Bennett. We hope you buy Acumatica and you're a forever customer. So this is just more so me putting on a marketing hat and thinking of how could I use something like this. So imagine you sell something that's like an air filter, right? And the lifespan of that product is 1 year. In theory, you could set up a business event that says, and I'm going to use like really layman's terms here, so just bear with me. But like, hey, a customer just purchased one of our air filters In 11 months, send that individual a remarketing email that has XYZ copy in it. It could say something like, your air filter is getting a bit old. It would be best for the health of your vehicle to get a new one soon. And you could have that email linked to a page on your web store for the exact same air filter that the customer bought 11 months earlier. You can see that there is kind of like a give and take there, right? So like the business event would be that they purchase the air filter. It then sends a reminder for 11 months later to send them the remarketing email. They receive the remarketing email. Hopefully they buy the air filter, and then it resets the process all over again. It's just a way to do very specific tasks, like in my specific example, a remarketing email, to make sure that you're keeping people within your sales life cycle, and have really strong retention rates. This is, as I said, I use layman's language. This is a very oversimplified use case. So I'm going to pass it over to Nathan, who's going to show you all a real life use case for business events and triggers.
Yes, I will. Awesome. Thank you, Strati. And a great example that you gave there, sending emails and communicating with customers and even employees, right? If we've got technicians that we need to assign, or any communication, right, is a great way of using business events to drive that communication. Things you don't need to think about anymore and spend that time doing, right? This is one of the biggest features of having a powerful ERP in your back office, is that you can automate a lot of the day-to-day functions that you're maybe already doing. So we saved this for last because it's not technically AI, but I don't think we'd be good stewards of Acumatica marketing here if we didn't enlighten you on some of the features that are already in the system that you may not necessarily be taking full advantage of. Business events are super powerful, and again, that sending an email notification is only one example of how we can use these things. To give Patrick credit, thank you for your question earlier. A business event is a great way of entering new data or modifying data. And again, we can watch a list. Maybe we create a generic inquiry of all the users that are not yet employees. And if a flag is set, we have a user without an employee, we can actually use our business events to do things and create new records via import scenario, or execute an action or an email notification. We can take some information from that user record and, running an import scenario, generate a new record for an employee with some of that data. So if it doesn't already exist, we can use the system to do that even before employing AI. So again, we're looking at an event, right? Anomaly has been detected in our SO margin analysis inquiry. We're going to run this on a schedule, right? Our inquiry is going to be running on a schedule, checking for those anomalies. Maybe we want to do this outside of business hours, so it's not impacting anything in any way. Schedules are a great way to do that, but other types of trigger could be by a record change or by an action. So again, if we make a change and the associated record is not also updated, we can use a business event to do that update for us. An action, also something that's going to be useful. We click a button on a screen and some action can take place. But now the trigger conditions are, we're looking at our margin analysis inquiry. We're looking for anything that's medium or significant and has not been reviewed. If those things show up, what are we going to do? We're going to send an email notification. We're going to do that on a schedule. We're going to do it every day or once a week, or however often we decide. We can create new schedules and view the history of the schedule, see how it's been running. Business events, again, a super powerful tool. Only one example here, but let's take a look at what we're asking the system to do when it does that. I created a new email template based on the anomaly detection, and you can see I'm using some fields from our system here, from our inquiry. I didn't actually have to do much to do this. It's beautiful, and I didn't do it. Again, I can take the credit, but I don't have to tell you that. Again, I'm not an HTML coder, right? But this is something that now we can do outside of our system here. You can see a visual example, but if I look at the HTML, this is not something I do every day. but the tools are out there now to help us do it and make it look the way we want. So again, if we've got that sales order margin analysis inquiry pulled up, it's going to check all our sales orders for those significant or medium anomalies. Then we're going to run that business event when it finds them on a schedule. What that's going to do is generate that email for us in the background, and I can view an example of an email that had been generated by the system and sent to the administrator that needs to check this out. And again, anomaly detection alert, we've got new sales orders with margins that don't align. These are what we've seen, and this is what we expected to see. You want to check that one out in particular. Look at that. We've got a link directly to the particular record number on the sales order screen within Acumatica, the parameters being passed through to that email link. And again, hint, hint, I didn't do it. If we wanted to get back to the margin analysis screen from that email activity, again, not needing to leave the screen we're on to go where we need to be, I don't need to search sales order margin analysis. I've got a big button to do it. So again, the convenience and efficiency that we can get out of business events is huge in Acumatica. If you're looking for ways to use this, or you have things that are happening regularly, great way to employ a business event, and we'll be happy to show you how to do these things. So that's all I've got for business events. But Strati, did we get any other questions come in?
Yeah, so someone said that they tried to build a system event, which I actually do think this is a pretty good use case, to send users an email if they hadn't logged on in 12 months, telling them to log on or be disabled, but they struggled getting that business event to actually work within the platform. I don't know if you have any specific feedback, but my suggestion is I can get you specifically set up, Patrick, with customer success and support to make sure that they can take a look at your system and understand why that might not be performing accurately. I think that's probably the best avenue to rectify that. But Nathan, I don't know if you have any specific insights into troubleshooting business events.
No, without more information, I can't give specific answers, but that sounds like something that the system should be able to do. Maybe it's just a matter of connecting all the pieces. In Acumatica, there are a little bit of a couple of different working pieces that need to be in place before these things will work properly. But our customer care and our customer care plan gives you all the support you need for that. And please do call in and open up a ticket with us. We'll be happy to walk you through all of that, show you how to do it. And maybe there was something that you missed, and through a little bit of training, we can empower you to get more out of your system. And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, but like I said, I love that use case. I think that's actually a pretty strong example of what business events and triggers could do. So thanks for at least bringing that up. And I know it didn't work exactly in that specific instance, but we will get PC Bennett to support you to make sure that that is working, because I'm sure it's very annoying to email people yourself to tell them like, yo, you got to log on or I'm going to disable you. Okay, cool. If you can go to the last slide, I will just ask one more time if anyone has any questions on the content we covered today. Just put them in the comment section as I'm wrapping up, and we will answer them once I give this quick outro. I just want to give a massive thank you to Nathan for the wonderful demonstration that we just got on AI in Acumatica. These webinars are like a big task for him to do on a monthly basis, and especially with figuring out how to integrate like emerging technology like AI into a demo environment, making sure that he's pulling from data fields that have filled out data in a demo environment. Like this is not an easy task for him to do. And it comes together into these wonderful demonstrations of exactly the power and ingenuity of Acumatica as a platform. So just give him his flowers like usual, because he definitely appreciates it. And then just as I have continued to repeat, just if you do have additional questions once we wrap up today's call, Patty, Shannon, and Will's email are all on the screen right now. Reach out to the customer success team, or as Nathan said, fill out a support ticket on the PC Bennett website. Like we, especially with something like AI, because this is new technology, like we want to know how you guys are using it, what you want to be able to have your platform do for you, with human intervention, just to understand the full breadth and capability of what we can do to help all of our clients. There might be use cases that some of you have that you might want to keep secret because that's your secret sauce, and that's totally cool. Let us know. But then there's other use cases that could be widely applied that also make everyone a lot more efficient and a lot more productive. And that means PC Bennett could create, like, in theory, a user group at some point to talk about things like AI and understand how everyone's using it. And we can create like a collaborative environment for everyone to talk about this. But yeah, no other questions came in. Again, Nathan, thank you so much. Hope everyone got a lot of insights on how you can incorporate AI in Acumatica in your day-to-day operations. And I hope you all have a lovely day.
Thank you, Strati. Big thank you to you too. Couldn't do this alone. We are a team here, and definitely appreciate working with you, friend. It's been a pleasure so far, and looking forward to the things we're doing in the future. And the biggest thank you to our audience. Thank you all for coming and for coming back. We really appreciate your attentiveness and your questions. And again, this is what we do, and we're looking forward to seeing more of you in our next webinars. So please come back, and thank you.
Yeah. Have a great day, everyone.